How's it going, guys? Vaibhav here and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video we're talking about something that I never thought would have happened otherwise, but given the world situation right now, everyone in lockdown, this unprecedented sort of situation we're going through and will go through in the next couple of months, someone needed to step up. Now, to curb the spread of this virus, we've had many countries work on their separate applications, whether that's China tracking people all over the country. We've had Singapore develop their application called Trace Together, which works on Bluetooth technology. We've also had Arogya Setu from India. Europe is currently looking at an application and talks have sort of been on and off. But all of these applications, especially the ones that don't use Bluetooth, are flawed because everyone needs to download it in order to start using or seeing the benefits of it. But that's where Apple and Google come in. Now, Apple and Google have partnered together to make a contact tracing technology work, and I'm pretty sure this will be limited to the USA at first and then sort of rolled out globally if that happens. So basically it uses APIs called application programming interfaces. So what happens is with these APIs, smartphones can communicate with each other, whether that's an Android and an iOS smartphone, it doesn't matter. Both of them can communicate with each other. Now, in their starting phases in May, it's going to be through an application, which is sort of expected. Both Android and iOS users will have to download an application through their respective Play stores. And then what will happen in the next coming months is Apple and Google will work together to develop this further using Bluetooth-based contact tracing communication. And I think that's what Singapore is currently doing. But with Apple and Google joining forces, this should take mere months, and this will help curb the flow of this virus. Now, this is a representation of how this thing works. If Alice and Bob meet for the first time and have a 10-minute conversation, their phones will exchange anonymous identifier beacons through Bluetooth in the long run, which change frequently. So every 15 minutes, these identifier beacons change, which is obviously a good thing because that means you sort of have your information secure. And let's say Bob now is positively diagnosed with COVID-19. Their test result has to be entered through an app using a public health authority. Now, once this is done, all his 14-day keys will be uploaded to the cloud. And what these keys will then do is communicate with the people's keys that he's met. So if we go on to this next interpretation here, we've got Alice continues her day unaware she's been near a potentially contagious person. But with Alice's phone constantly checking for keys over the cloud, it finds out that Bob's identifier beacon is a match with COVID-19. As soon as that happens, Alice is notified saying she must take some action. Now, I think this process needs to be hastened up to curb this flow because I think we won't see a vaccine for this virus probably for the next 3 or 4 months at least. I'm sure it's going to be faster than every other virus vaccine we've seen, but definitely not like in the next 2 months. I'm sure there's testing. I've heard of testing, but I think these are still in its early trials. And once this sort of becomes a more prominent way to test it, we'll start seeing vaccines rolled out to the public. But before that, I think this is a great way to curb the spread of this virus. As soon as this happens, Alice's phone receives a notification of what to do next, whether that's sort of consult a health person, go to a test center, or stay in quarantine for the next 14 days, depending on what symptoms she's showing, and then taking action accordingly. But I think this overall process and Google and Apple working together sort of shows that in these circumstances and in these circumstances of pandemic, even the biggest competitors can come together if they're fighting one cause. And I think that's a great thing to see. I'm not certain if this will pave the way for future technologies to sort of be incorporated together. I'm sure this is a one-off situation, but I'm glad it's happening. So yeah, that's about it for this video. Let me know what you guys are doing in lockdown. Are you guys in lockdown? Have you gone out? I haven't gone out of my house in the last 4 weeks, I can say. I think it's been a month since I've been inside my house. Probably forgot how to drive, my PS4, these videos, and just Netflix is keeping me sane. But give me your thoughts down in the comments below. I'm sure we'll see more development to this in the next coming weeks and months. and hopefully we can all come through this stronger and sort of with a sense of brotherhood in the entire society all over the world, and we appreciate what we've got once we overcome this. So yeah, I think this situation, once it's done, is going to change our whole outlook on sort of living, traveling, cleanliness, sanitization, going to a mall, going to a public place, and it's just going to be a very, very different phase of the world, which I'm looking forward to being a part of. But yeah, thanks for watching. This was Vaibhav, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.